Hello crafty friends. Today I'm happy to share with you 5 cards I've made using Pink and Main's Crafty Courtyard kit for April 2022. This kit is full of very elegant golds, silvers and blacks along with white and grey. So a very elegant and timeless colour scheme. So join me as we have a look at the cards I've made. Card number 1 is going to be in the portrait position, and I'm just using my Bailey Art glue to put a nice fine layer of glue around each of the edges and across the middle to keep it nice and secure. And I've chosen this diagonal plaid to go as my background. And just getting that all lined up with all the edges, and that's where liquid glue is very handy indeed. Then I've cut myself a strip of the confetti paper, and I'm going to add onto it thin strips of the black glitter paper that I've cut. And I've applied the glue to the paper rather than to the glitter strips. It's just much easier to line up or attach the large sheet of paper to the smaller sheets of glitter. And I can then just adjust them as I need, wipe up the glue there on my stamping mat, and when I'm happy I'll turn that over and I will also add glue around the edges there. Now I have taken inspiration for this card from the information and contents card that you get every month in the kit. So that's where the inspiration for this card has come from. So I have got my background set. I've got my little panel running across the middle of the confetti paper. I've then cut myself a small gold circle and then used my paper trimmer to cut a nice straight edge on one side. Now because it is sitting on top of a pattern paper there, I'm going to add a scrap piece of cardstock underneath the top end of that circle of gold glitter, and then I'll just make sure that's all lined up nice and neatly, and that will keep it level for the rest of my decorations. So I've stamped and paper pieced in different pattern papers from our kit. I've then got my foam tape on the back, and I am going to also add glue, so I've got the ability to move my image if I need to. And you can see there the pattern papers that I've used to decorate my balloons. And if you're not sure how to do paper piecing, just leave me a comment below and I can point you in the direction of a video to give you more idea of what is involved. So now I'm just snipping off the excess there of my little sentiment banner that says surprise, which has been white heat embossed. Now for this card I felt like I wanted some more decoration to it other than what the idea card had on. So I'm going to add some of these gorgeous silver gems, I'm going to call them, to the front of my card, and I'm just sprinkling some of those around the top and the bottom sections, as well as one on my sentiment there. And there you go, you can see that I've got my card all together, and there's the inspiration card from the kit. And here's a still shot just showing the card that I've made with the ideas card in the kit. For card number 2, I've got my lovely black, white and grey plaid background paper, and I'm going to attach that to my card base using sticky backed tape. I'll get that, and I'm going to just hold it very lightly over top of where I think I want to position so I can get it aligned, and then I'll press it down. Now I've die cut a oval shape out of the black glitter cardstock, and I'm going to attach that to the card with my glue, and I'm attaching that to the middle of my patterned paper there, and I'll add a block to help make sure it dries nice and flat and evenly. To decorate the card, I've chosen the stack of presents and I've coloured that in with Spectrum Noir glitter pens. They came in a pack of 6, and I've also got there a piece of the white glitter cardstock that I've die cut with a die that has rounded corners. I'm going to attach that to the bottom edge of my circle or oval die cut, and to that I'm adding in a little flag banner that I've cut out of the gold cardstock. And I'm going to pop that little gold banner to the underneath side of the white glitter cardstock. And I'll use a clear acrylic block to hold that in place while it dries. I've then got my stack of presents here, and you can see I've added our foam squares. Some of them I've cut smaller, and I've also put some glue on the back of the foam squares to make sure I get good adhesion to the glitter background. Now I'm just showing you the panel I've die cut and then also used gold glitter embossing powder to put my sentiment onto the front of my card there. And I'm just going to make sure I get that straight and level, which it wasn't, and then I'll press it down firmly. Now, to finish off the card, I was deciding between using the sequins or the gem enamel drops we received, but I decided to go with the sequins because some of the sequins have like an iridescent colour to them, and I just thought those ones really picked up on the colours that I've used in the stack of presents. So just go around and add those in a few different places on the card to fill in what feels a little visually empty. And then once I'm happy with that, my card's all finished. Next, I'm taking this pretty black background with lots of little gold stars all over, and I'm not sure that there's a right way up, but I felt like I needed to put it the way up that I have it now. And I've just stuck that onto my card using double-sided tape, and then you can see here I've cut 2 stars, a large one out of the gold glitter and a second one out of the white geometric patterned paper in our kit. And I'm going to glue that onto my card, and I'm not putting it so it's upright. I want it on a little bit of an angle. I've also got here some of the balloons I stamped, coloured in with glitter markers, and then put glossy accent over top. And you'll see on the balloons where I've placed that star, the glossy accent made the black pen run into the gold, so that little bit of a smudge I covered up with a star. And I'm just showing you here, I'm using the Brutus Monroe Gilded Gold embossing powder, and my sentiment reads congratulations, and I'm going to place that just under my balloons there. Next, I'm going to take some more stars that have been embossed and coloured in with glitter markers, and then I've also gone over top with some glossy accent to give it a bit more shine and dimension. I'm then going to go ahead and use my glue and glue those stars in place, again just having them on different angles to create interest rather than all pointing in the same direction. And I split up the 2 silvers from each other so they weren't side by side. I'm then going through our sequin mix and I'm picking out different coloured stars to add onto the background as well. Give a little bit more sparkle, and I just think it looks pretty with those little stars on the background as well. So I'm just looking for one more, and there are plenty in there. They're just very good at hiding amongst the sequins. And one last sequin to place up the top and my pretty little stars, once it's off my thumb, all stuck to my card. And that's that card finished. Very nice. For card number 4, I chose the black and white plaid pattern to be the background of my entire card front, and I'm gluing that on. I used glue to make sure I could get it perfectly aligned with all the edges, which glue makes it a lot easier to do. I've then cut myself a strip of the grey, dark grey, black spotted textured card from our kit, and I'm placing that down the left hand side of my card. Then on top of that, I've got a stitched circle that I've cut off on the left side, and I've got 2 banners I'm going to apply below that halved circle. And so I've had one quick look where placement will be, and then I'm just bringing my circle back in and checking that I've got the placement right. Now the second banner I've cut from white glitter cardstock, and again just using the circle to make sure I place it in the position I'm happy with. So gluing that down, the edges there touching each other, no gap in between. My silver semicircle is popped up on foam tape, and I've added some glue to that just to make sure I've got good adhesion. Then I've coloured in another one of the stack of presents using the Spectrum Noir sparkle pens or glitter pens, and I've just added some glue to the back of my image there. It just really helps it to stick nice and firmly to the glitter cardstock, rather than just having the sticky foam tape onto the glitter. I've also stamped and embossed a sentiment in white embossing powder, and then I'm going to pop that up on foam tape as well, and just checking where I want to put the sentiment. And I've decided I like it sitting there just overlapping onto the 2 banners. I wanted to introduce a little bit more of that white glitter cardstock that I've got in the banner down below the image. So I've cut out with a die this sort of rick-rack zigzag line, and I'm using that to go onto the black dotted paper. And I'm cutting it so it looks like it runs the whole length of the card, not just those 2 short parts there. And I'll keep that extra bit for another project. So that ties in all the different colours on the papers, and I really like the idea of having the black and white with that pop of colour to really draw your attention to where you want it on the card. For my final card today, I am going to take some of the gold cardstock, and I've used 2 rectangular dies to cut myself a gold frame, and I'm keeping the centre part from that frame to use for other cards. And part of that you'll see I will cut out a semicircle to place on my card later. So I have used a pink and main die here that gives you the tiny little scallop detail, and that's going to sit on top of my gold frame, so I've got a lovely gold glitter border surrounding my card. I've cut 2 tags using the pink and main tag dies, and I've gone around the outside edges of my die cuts with the thin pieces of the gold glitter cardstock. That's to frame up my tags and to bring in more of that pretty gold cardstock we've got. And then I've also cut a smaller fishtail banner, and I've also taken the gold glitter cardstock and lined all the edges there. Only a little bit tricky when it comes to doing the V indent at the bottom of the fishtail banner, but overall pretty easy to get those strips glued on. Then I've got myself a semicircle of the gold glitter cardstock popped up on foam, and I've also heat embossed the sentiment from our stamp set, which is Make a Wish. I'm going to gently place down my semicircle because I still need to glue my sentiment banner underneath the edge of my gold circle. So I'm making sure I've got glue on both sides and gently lift up the semicircle of gold cardstock. I don't want to put a crease in there. And then I can press everything down into place. And I'm just showing you there, I've stamped and embossed the candles in white embossing powder, and then I've coloured those in with silver and gold pen to match back with the colour scheme I've chosen for the card. I'll then snip off the overhanging part of that small banner, and my card will be finished. Quick and easy, but I think it makes a lovely, bold statement. Well, thank you very much for joining me again today. I hope you enjoyed my cards today and found some inspiration. Please come back and see me again. Can't wait to share some more cards and creations with you. Until then, bye-bye for now.